Good morning, Carnation Crafters, and a very big welcome to you all. We are live in the Carnation Crafts studio, and we have got a really special little launch, which is as cute as a button. So this is the Christmas jumper vignettes. They are absolutely delicious. The number for them is 223215. That's on the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. Good morning, Pamela Linton. Hello to you. Hello, Pam Simpson. So they've brought out these vignettes that are for all the animals, and they are just ridiculously cute. Good morning, Karen Vincent. Good morning, Christine Harrison. I hope you're all okay. Yeah, they are just beyond sweet. Now, first of all, a little bit of housekeeping because there's been a bit of a confusion, rightly so. The website had some weevils in it, and good morning, Suzanne. And yeah, good morning, Vera. It had some little sort of demons in the system. So the vignettes should be £20. Because they've got a massive saving on them, they should have gone down to, I think it was £6.99. But there's this mega event on, and the website then took the reduction from the mega sale price as well as the other one. So it then went down to £5.24. It should have been £6.99. Carnation rang this morning and said they are going to honour the £5.24 because it was on the website, rightly so. Thank you very much, Carnation. But there has been some confusion with people saying, well, if they're only £6.99, it should have more off it than it going down to £5.24. But that's actually not the case. Instead of it being 65% off, you're getting 70 odd percent off. So you're getting more off than you should do, if that makes sense. So it just went a little bit chaotic on the website, and that's why. Good morning, Shirley. Good morning, Karen. Yeah, it's got a funny price on it, and it's because there was demons in the website. But whichever way, as always, that sale will end at midnight tonight. So this is the only time you're going to get a chance to get it at that price. It will go back up to £20 at midnight tonight. On that note, while I'm still there, as far as I'm aware, good morning, June. Morning, Deborah. Morning, Mand. As far as I'm aware, the mega sale will end on Carnation Crafts website tonight at midnight. Now, as that's my knowledge on it. So if you want anything from there, make sure you do it today because everything will go up to the original price. So just to let you know. So the Christmas jumper special edition vignette download collection. That's a mouthful. 223215 today only at £5.24. Now, the one thing I'll say to you is this. I'm going to ask Miss Taz if she will just whip onto the overhead for me. If that's worth it. That's worth it. Look at his tummy. I mean, he was cute as a button when it first came out. Now he's got a Christmas jumper on. It's just ridiculously sweet. Good morning, Sandra. Good morning, Sue. Foggy Warminster. It was really foggy here yesterday. Good morning, Sharon Curtis. All of the people are here. Yeah, so to me, like, this vignette is just worth it just for him. However, if he's not your favourite, let me show you a couple more. They're going to make me try and remember all of the names of the characters, and I can't. I do believe he's Ewan. I can't remember them all. Let me just look how beautiful she is in her Christmas jumper. Look, it's just beyond sweet. But we've got all, look. So I had a look at the vignettes. As far as I'm aware, there are 58 pages to the vignettes. Obviously, that then halves down to the amount of animals in there because you've got single-sided and double-sided. But they have put so many little characters in here for you to download. They're just beyond sweet, and these are going to see you, these are going to see you through for your Christmas crafting for just years to come. Look, that's not even all of them. There's loads of them. Couldn't you make an amazing kind of picture with these, like just a huge little scene going on with all the little Christmas animals? But they are so just delicious. But he is my favourite. You can bet your bottom dollar he is going to appear. Good morning, Linda. Good morning, Annette. Could they get any cuter? No, look. He's going to be in one of my demos. I'm sure of it because he is beyond sweet. with his chocolate bar. I think maybe he reminds me of myself in a morning. Right, let's have a look at some finished samples so we can see where we're going. This, a massive thank you to the DT team. You are wonderful, and I think the absolute world of you. You are an inspiration and you are incredible. This is Sue's. So all of the Christmas elements that we've got from all of the Christmas themed Carnation that you've got in previous times, or the winter themed. Not all of Carnation's dyes are all Christmas, some are winter. Just bear with, that's a great comment. June says they are so cute. I could not believe how wonderful they were until I opened the vignettes. Thank you so much. I saw them. It was the mouse I saw first, which is one of my favourite ones they've done of the little characters anyway. And I was like, oh my word, he's wearing a Christmas jumper. Karen says these are amazing, so cute. Well done, Nick and the team. Absolutely, aren't they clever? They're so sweet. I love the fact they gave us pretty much all of the characters except for the Carnation mice as well. I think that's ace. Michelle says downloaded and printing as I'm watching. They're so cute. They're so cute. So we've got this beautiful one here with, I'm pretty sure he's called Ewan. You can all shout out names if you remember the names, because I will forget. YouTube, we've got Marion, Sarah, Karen, Donna and Kaylee. Good morning to you all. Thank you for joining us. I don't see your comments and I can't see you on here because I've got Facebook and not YouTube. I do apologise. I'm not ignoring you. Miss Taz can see you and she will keep you posted. You've got the little family of deer here, which are just beautiful in their little jumpers. I love them. You know what's really nice is that when Taz came this morning and I showed her the finished samples and we were talking, and Taz was like, so is it a jumper that they cut in different colours and it can be attached to the animals? And I was like, no. They went to the whole trouble of putting a jumper on all of the animals. And that's really sweet, isn't it? It's not that we have to size it to fit or manoeuvre it. It's that they did that work, and that's really important. Here's Chunk. I don't know what his real name is. Look, just beyond cute. So we're bringing in all the Christmas trees. So these are winter's gone by. Oh, Pam, you've got COVID. No. Oh, it's awful. Good morning, Deirdre. Good morning, Sarah. So magic fireplace, and I probably will demo with this today, although I don't think I'll be using the mechanic of it. I'll just make a straight card with it. So any of you want to know how to make the magic fireplace work, I know most of you have already got it, but there is a full YouTube tutorial for you. Look at this. How beautiful is that as a Christmas card? All that dimension. I just want to mention that we've seen Pam's card there. We have seen Barbara's card, Sue's. This one is Vera. Thank you, Vera. I think Vera's watching. Really, really beautiful. It's so sweet. And then Sarah says, I'm so happy that these fit the SVGs as I'm a scan and cutter. There you go. Look at this. I love this. I could get so excited about this. This is another Vera. Look at that. Look at the dimension on that. See how they've raised those up? Isn't that beautiful for a Christmas card? Really pretty. When I talk an awful lot about Carnation and the fact that we get elements with Carnation that we can use later and, you know, in different ways, this is what I mean. We've got the bird bath. We've got the elements behind. Bring in everything. It doesn't need to be Christmassy, does it? And this, which has got parts from Comfort of Home, it's got the fireplace, it's got the Christmas elements, it's got those foxes from this year's Christmas. So many things coming in here. There's so many different pieces from different collections in that one card, and I think it's stunning. So that is Sue. Thank you, Sue. And then finally, this is using the Little Baby collection, which my name escapes me, Bundles of Joy. And then fitted in with all the little elements. First Christmas, baby's first Christmas. So sweet. They're just delicious. Oh my word, look what I've just seen. Oh, Miss Taz. Look, he's got a little scarf on. He's very happy. I could just sit for hours with these. They're beyond sweet. I'd love to make a little storybook out of them because they are just ridiculous. Right, so we're going to start formatting some demos for you and having a look at how they all come together. I'm just putting these out while I'm getting my demo ready so you can see some various different pieces. But he is always going to be centre stage. I'm going to start with the Christmas tree. I might leave him there because he's making my little house happy. Yes, Miss Taz.
Question before we get into them. John has asked, what collection are the deer from, please?
The deer are from... It was the Nativity Christmas collection. Family Christmas this year. Yeah, Family Christmas, and it'll be on the website. Just let me have a look at some of these comments. Sorry guys, you're typing faster. Pearl just made it had a chuckle while looking through the fabulous designs in the download. Cheered me up. That's the point, isn't it? They just cheer you up. They're cute. Liz says, loving them. Carla, they're scrummy. Just love them. So Pauline said, I tried using standard vignette, the corresponding SVG. It worked, but you had to do a bit of resizing, but I did it. So just jiggle with things. You'll get there. But they are beyond sweet. So I'm so chuffed that you're all loving them. Yes, Miss Taz?
If anybody's curious about the dyes that we are using,
yes,
Harvey has posted on Facebook a list of the collections and the dyes if they need them.
Oh, he's a good boy. We can be nice to Harvey today. He has done good things. Oh, Miss Taz says we can't be nice to Harvey today. You guys can be nice to Harvey today. We don't want to lull him into a false sense of security. Liz says, got you on the iPad and the big screen. Love these shows. Do you know what? I'm probably not supposed to say this, but I love doing the shows in this studio. We have a bit more freedom. There's a bit more time to chat with you guys. Doesn't matter whether we go overtime slightly or undertime slightly. We can just make it fit. And I love that about these shows. I said to Miss Taz this morning how much I love them. Right, so this Christmas tree, I'm still going to forget all the collection names. This was from last year's Christmas, and it's that beautiful Christmas tree that's got the stand, and it sort of sits. Now, I don't actually have the stand with me, but it would sit like that. You need to see it flat for demo anyway, but it sits forward, and it is just beautiful, this tree, and it's got all the elements for decorating. Sue says, thank you, Harvey. Was going to ask the same. So you can be nice to him, Sue, and he'll appreciate it. We don't need to be. He'll get too comfortable. So we're just going to take these off. Harvey is the boss's son, and he's a very lovely chap. All of the team working very hard together. Now, I've got my mats and layers for this. I did them before just so I wasn't spending too much time adding those things. Miss Taz, I had a moment. Have I got those top to bottom or bottom to top? There you go. That green with the cream, that pop of colour is so pretty, isn't it? Just really, really beautifully done. And then I've got these ones on the bottom just to bring forward. And let's put these on. I love this. This, in this colourway, looks like a Christmas jumper. Oh, Miss Taz looks all happy. Miss Taz loves Christmas. She loves all of the things, the birthdays and the Christmas, so she gets very excited. And it's not long now till Santa comes, is it? And I've got to sort many, many things out before that happens, which is very scary. My children want me to put my Christmas tree up this weekend, so I've got that to do. 26 days until Christmas. Right, I'm just using this little Christmas tree. I'm just going to give it a little bit of shaping, not too much because I don't want it to bounce forward. So I need to just sort of, just gently trim out those leaves, not trim them out, but, you know, shape out those leaves a little bit. Now, if I was to do it from the front instead of the back, it would make them span forward, which is also super cute. If you're doing this at home, one of the things that you can do with this tree, not specifically with today's collection, if you're canny with it, cut it out twice and with one of them fold it in the center, okay, and just stick it down the side, and when you then put it onto your base, it will have two pieces coming forward and one at the back, so you'll have like a full tree going round and it looks super pretty. So that is an option. You can do the same thing but do it 3 times, so then it really does become fully rotund. Now if you're doing that, you will of course need to put it into a box to send it to somebody for Christmas because it will sit very high. But it is a lovely way of playing with this tree. So just in case any of you are wondering different ways to play with the tree that you've got, that is another way of doing it. Now I'm doing it this way, and I'm going to stick it down sort of flat and just let this roll slightly. So we're just going through. Thank you, Suzanne. Love these shows. You're brilliant, all of you at Carnation Craft. Well, it's the actual team at Carnation Craft that are amazing. And I will give out, because we do tend to miss them out on our Facebooks because the team are amazing. I will give a shout out to all the people in the warehouse who are incredible. They're the ones that get it out to you in time. And I will also give a shout out to the very lovely, because she never gets named, Miss Kirsty, who organises us all and makes us all do the things on time, except for me, but she tries. Right, I will wet glue this down the centre. Hey, Kim Lund, she says, sorry I'm a bit late. Please don't say sorry. It's just lovely to have your company. Good morning, Amanda. How are you doing? Right, let's whizzy these. So, as you can see, I've just shaped it out slightly. I've got a slight bend on it. Can you see just down the centre? There's a very slight curve. I haven't done much. I just want to sit it forward slightly. So I'm going to use some wet glue just down the very central spots. And no more. So do you guys see what I mean? If I did another one and did it in half, it would sit forward. So place that there and down. So I just get that movement at the side, just here. And now I can play with that. I can move it even more forward. And like I say, if I had another tree in that centre, folded in half, it would make the full round. But look how real that is. Do you not think that looks really realistic? Because to me, where Nick's done the shading so cleverly, they look like they're sticking out, which is super clever. He is a talent beyond. Right, let's have a look at decorating a little bit. Now, I'm not going to be excessive because we don't have the time. The joy of this Christmas tree is that we can do all of the decorating we could possibly ever want. So let's bring some stuff in. It's actually starting to make me feel quite Christmassy, which I haven't felt too much until now. How's everybody doing at home with Christmas? Have you got your shopping done? Who's started? Anybody got the decorations up yet? Who is where? Don't upset me by saying you're completely done, because I am completely not. Now, with the little baubles, you have a choice. So when I'm saying about putting the piece in the centre, an extra piece going along, you could then hang these from those pieces, because where that is, you can actually hang them. So if you had that, it would actually hang down. So really, really cute. Now I'm going to glue them flat to this piece because I want to use the animals at the bottom. So we're going to be a little bit sparse on this tree because it's the animals that we want to look at, but I do want to have some decoration on there. And before I put too many baubles on, I will of course put a little bit of tinsel going across, and we'll do that this way. Miss Taz, are you all sorted for Christmas?
I'm going to make you really upset.
Oh no.
I'm sorted in about September.
Oh, Sharon's put her tree up. Deborah's finished her Christmas shopping but not done any cards though. Karen, most of my presents are done but the tree isn't up as yet. Oh no. I have bought the children some presents. I think that's something, isn't it? Normally I do it on Christmas Eve, like a fool. Right, let's get a little bit of tinsel going. So I think I will be Christmased up by the end of the weekend. The children have asked that on Christmas Eve we watch Home Alone, which is their favourite Christmas film. So that'll be something that we've got coming up. So I'm just putting this across as if the tinsel has been wrapped around the tree. Diane said, Christmas done, presents bought, wrapped, bagged and ready, cards made, written and ready to post. Oh, good Lord. No tree required. Pam made all the cards and have a few prezzies. Now lost the plot. I lost the plot years ago. That was nothing to do with Christmas. Christmas just exacerbates everything. Well, you'll all be pleased to know I have bought no, I did get the children some stuff. I did. It's easier when they get a bit older because they give you an Amazon wish list and you just kind of pick off the little bits. So that's made my life a tad easier. Look at that, isn't that lovely? All the tinsel going down the tree. I think one more for down here so that it's finished off. Suzanne says start but not got the tree up yet, hubby. It's been way too early. I used to put the tree up on Christmas Eve and pretty much take it down on Boxing Day. But now that the children love it, we usually do it around the 1st of December. Mandy says presents nearly done and cards sent. Wow. Gosh, you lot are amazing. Pauline, lots of decorations done. Inside, still plenty to go. Outside, done. 3 trees round the bay. Around the bay and above the front door. And around the door itself. Lots of lights. 1 of 3 trees inside up. Busy doing, oh good lord, for a Christmas market on Saturday at a local pub. Wowzers, you guys are amazing. So long as I have a chocolate orange and a Baileys, that's my Christmas sorted. Oh, I bought myself a Christmas present though, Miss Taz. I think I showed you it, didn't I? Margaret says, just posted a lot of cards but no decorations. I bought myself a very beautiful oblique calligraphy pen, which was a treat. So that was what I got myself this year. I'm saying it was a Christmas present. It's just an excuse for actually buying it. That was the reason I gave myself. Decorations just going on this tree. Does anybody have a colour theme for their Christmas decorations, or do you like to just go wild? Mine tend to be red, gold and white, or red, gold and cream, and I put little roses in my Christmas tree and crystals. I do love decorating the tree. I don't like taking it down, I got to say, Miss Taz. That's the worst bit. Right, angel or star on the top of the tree, Miss Taz. Which would you like?
Angel.
Angel. Let's pop this on. Vera says, decorations going up at the weekend, all cards made. First year I've not bought 1 single card. Well, Vera Bow, as you are such a talented DT member, I would expect nothing less. Margaret just posted a lot of cards but no decorations yet. There we go. So I'm going to kind of leave it like that. I will put 1 more red bauble on because this is about the animals and not as much. It's going to look a bit weird with those 2 red ones. Let's just put a couple of gold ones on. So composition wise, I could never leave it like that because when you've only got the 2 red ones, it just looks displaced. Now I don't have any more red baubles at hand, but I can balance it with a couple of larger gold ones as if it has purposefully been placed. So what I'll do here is just kind of go somewhere around here with that gold one, which is the larger one, in between the 2. So I'm going to stage them up. Do you see how that starts to balance it? So I don't have just these massive, huge, big pieces. And it just gives it that little bit of sense of balance. Vera says 1 room is copper and gold and bronze. The other is blue and silk. Good Lord, you have Christmas rooms. Suzanne, I have a light up caravan decoration thing. That sounds like that's more me. God, I just do 1 room. In fact, I just do 1 tree. So now we balance it by having some of the bigger baubles and the little baubles in between, the greens, the blues and the reds and the gold all coming together to provide that kind of fullness. And then we've got the angel at the top. Oh my word, Jane, 40 cards with the wreath maker finished. I'm at home after a heart ablation procedure, so nothing else done yet and hopefully back to work next week. This tree is on my list for next year. Happy Christmas, everyone. Jane, massive, massive hugs. I hope you're okay. Second of all, 40 cards with the wreath maker is no small feat. You must have cut so many florals. I am in awe of what you've achieved. Massive well done. That is such a huge achievement. Huge well done on that. Right, now where this tree is, if I can, I don't know how best to do this. I might need front facing just to show it, Taz. Where this tree sits, and it sits forward and it has a wee stand. I'll just use my pokey for a second. And it has that wee stand there. What we can then start to do is build our animals upwards. Look at Ewan, he's so handsome. Now what we need to do is, when we're sticking the animals, either we can make a little platform for Ewan at the back so he stands, but ideally we need him to kind of be stuck to the tree, but we need to make sure that when he stands, if I put him too low, his feet are going to bend and that's not going to look great. So we're going to have to measure his feet distance to the floor and stick him that way. Okay, does that make sense? Just so he's got a little bit of height. I don't want him floating mid-air, so if I put him too high, his little feetsies will be up here. So I kind of just measure him that way, and that's how I'll stick him. Jane says over 100 sheets of pro print paper. Thank you so much. Improved. Thank you, much improved. Well, I'm very glad to hear it. That must have been very scary. Right, so now I've got him measured. I'm just going to place his head. So I keep him held where I know his feet stand, glue his head so I know that I've got in place. Once I've got that, I can then lift his body and just glue at the side here. And now I know that he is perfectly placed so that when I stand him, his feet will touch the ground, they won't bend, and they will be perfectly fitted on the floor. Okay, so that's how I measure it. I know we all have different ways of doing things, but that would be my way. What I'm going to do on the bottom is just place the little extra wreath. And just up. Let's just put a bit of this. Now I'm not going to go on the whole round just for demo purpose. If it was me and I was making this to send to somebody, I would make sure I had a little piece of glue on each one of those, just so that it doesn't get caught on anything. For demo, I'll just do it in a couple of spots. Place it on and push it down. And that's just going to keep that in place. Now we don't just want Ewan, we want a whole party of animals because they're all there and they're all having fun. Now the problem that you're going to have with any of this is it's choosing. Look, he's got a little polo neck on. Like, which animals do you put on? There's so much choice. Now, obviously, part of this will be to do with sizing, because if I was to put the wee baby fox next to Ewan, he might seem a little bit small. It depends how you look at it. We can go next to there. I can't remember the llama's name. All of these are going to escape me, but his hairdo is about the fanciest hairdo I've ever seen on an animal. He's so smart. So it depends which your sizings of your animals, because obviously some of them come in collections. So this will make Miss Taz very happy because she absolutely adores cows. So you can see how we can start to balance it. Now, if I'm going to use those two at the side of here, I'm going to want something smaller in the centre at the bottom. And I don't want it to be as tall as those two. Now, if I was to make it as tall, or roughly as tall, so say put one in from the same collection, what I lose is the bottom half of the tree. Now, if you do decide to go that way with them, what you can do to compensate for that is to put smaller presents at the bottom, or, you know, something like that just along the bottom row, and that will bring everything down in a stage of 3, and that will make the composition perfect. For me, I don't really want to do the presents so much because we don't have a lot of time, and I do want to get some animals stuck down. So my alternative is I can do that way, or I can go down in height, which will also allow a compensation for the tree and the height of the tree. So it depends kind of which way you want to go. So let's have a look. Now, he obviously won't work on this because he'll be missing his bottom half, but isn't he beautiful? Look at those eyes. So let's have a look at going down in height a little bit as we go. Now we've got something a wee bit smaller. I could probably do with smaller than that. I've got so many to choose from, which is just an absolute delight. Right, let's have a look at the hedgehog. So now we're going down. So we make sense of the height. And it's just about playing, and it's just about the way we play. Now, if I'll just pop his chocolate bar behind him, just so I've got the play weight of height going down. So you can see, because we're going this way, my tinsel is going up that way. So it compensates. We're talking balance all the time. It's just about how we compensate for that balance. So it depends which way you want to go with the animals and how you want to seat them. I think that they're super delicious. I'm not sure about the hedgehog next to the mouse and the hedgehog being so much bigger, so I'm probably going to swap that out with something. It doesn't really matter. It's all about fun and Christmas, isn't it? But he's got to stay, right? Because he is just ridiculously delicious. What we could do is pop him just cuddling that tree. So he's just hidden behind. Let me get rid of some of this so you can see. So he's just hugging that tree. Now remember, with the giraffe, because of the way the vignette works, I can pop something into his mouth. So if I was to have him just hugging the side of that tree, you see where you've got the little dent in the tree that just fits in his neck. If I've got him sat hugging that tree, I can put a sentiment in his mouth. So I could have him, I don't have a sentiment with me, but let me find, we'll use the fox, the shape of the fox, just as an example. If that was to say Merry Christmas on it, he would be able to hold that, and he would be able to stand next to that tree in perfect alignment. So you would have this really beautiful little, and there's just a hint of him in his little Christmas jumper. Isn't that so sweet? So play with those shapes, play with the sizes, see where you're getting with it, and just have the best fun. Right, let me find, oh my word, Miss Taz, Miss Taz, Miss Taz. Look at his feeties. He's delicious. Right, he's staying. I've lost all sense of what's right and what's wrong at this point. I'm just on overload. So let's pop a little bit on his face at the back and a little bit on the side of his jumper. Size him correctly so that I know where he's going to stand. I am just, this is like the best fun ever. He's got the loveliest legs. Oh, this is just ridiculously cute. So if I pop him there. Now, where has Chunk gone? Chunk, he's here. Let's just get rid of his chocolate bar. Oh, actually, he might... Oh, be still, my beating heart. I think I'm just going to leave him exactly where he is. Now, what I'm going to do with Chunk is just take him, and he's the one that I'm going to shape. So the other two I keep flat. I want to have a protrusion of Chunk at the front because he's going to be kind of, I suppose, my little showstopper piece, and I'm going to lift him up with pin flare. So let's get some shaping out done on him. So I'm going to start with his ears, smaller piece on the ball tool, smaller end, so an appropriate size. So you can see it's about the right size for his ears, and that's where we're usually going with our ball tools, just to make sure we're about right. Oh, he's just beyond sweet. Take this round. I want to see all of your cards and see what you make with them. Just going to go round the edge. Just break those fibres down before I go into his tummy, and then his tummy, his tummy most certainly deserves some attention. Pauline says, could the animals maybe have tabs put behind their feet so they stand on the base forward of the tree rather than on it? Absolutely. It's something that you can do really simply. All you need to do is, I'm just going to break this down. So if this was just a straight piece of card, nothing more, just a straight piece of card, the way I would go about it is simply just to fold it in half completely. And then you can either place that behind straight like it is and bend it backwards, or you could potentially put another little fold in there to make it a triangle so it actually stands as a triangle. That's absolutely a way of doing it, and he could then stand here. So if you want me to make him that way so that you can see how that works, I am more than happy to do that. Excuse the piece of card that I'm using, it's obviously not appropriate. You would use a 350 GSM, you just cut a little rectangle from it, and you would simply just fold that in half and score it. Karen says, watching on YouTube, love, love, love this collection. Well done all the team. Merry Christmas to you all. Get well soon, Pam. Yeah, I can't believe we're saying Merry Christmas. It feels like, does it not feel like yesterday when we had like weird 40-degree weather that was hotter than Egypt? Because it does to me. Just put a little bit of this on here. Now, just pull him round and let's seat him. So I'll pop him near enough in the center, just like so, and then I'm just gonna push so that sticks. Now it's going to slip and slide until it's properly dry. Push him back. So if you're folding him, if you're posting him, he is going to need to sit flat, and that's fine because once you've created that tab, that's absolutely something that you can do. That's slipping and sliding until it's dry. But let's just have a look at where we are. Miss Taz, would I be able to have a front facing? Is that okay? I'm sorry. Oh, I love him. So by doing it on the tab system, as we've just done, you sit him obviously a lot further forward. He does become the showstopper, and you would have the little tab on the back here that holds the tree up. So you, I'm so in love with him. He is adorable. So we'll kind of leave this one at this because I'm going to go on to the magic fireplace, but I just wanted you to see how we weave the different collections together. Now, if you wanted to be really canny, one of the things that you can do is cut the bottom of this card, the little platform, and you could have this tree next to the magic fireplace with the armchair from Comfort of Home, something like that, or even the little cooker from Comfort of Home. Obviously with Comfort of Home as well, you've got all the little hanging pictures, so you can make a full living room, really beautiful Christmas living room. You can start to bring in the coffee table and all those little elements that come with it, and you could have a full room with the little animals kind of in little places all around. So super sweet ways of playing with this. The other thing that you can do, because some of the animals that we've got here are from Rural Charm, so you've got the wee little piggies, such I mean, he's just ridiculous. He's so sweet. So you could make a little Christmas farmyard as well. If you've got littlies in your life, these kind of things would just be so awesome. No problem, Pauline, at all. I think it's nice to see different ways of playing, and the tab systems are easy. It's one of those things, isn't it? Because when I first started card making, one of the things I used to do for things like where we were just saying is I'd try and bend their feet back a little bit and just pin a little bit of glue on. You're just as easy just making a little tab system. But sometimes if you do a piece of cardboard that is, you know, however long, and do 2 score lines so it becomes a triangle, that piece of paper sort of there, it becomes a triangle, that stand will be supported a little more. It's a little bit more difficult for folding flat for posting, that's the only thing. So sometimes you're better off just doing the L shape. So think of all your different collections, think about how you can bring them in. I tell you what this would look so good on with the little animals. Fresh blooms, where you've got the shop. You know how there's the florist shop? If you did fresh blooms and you did the little animals on the store, would be just gorgeous. Lots of ways of playing. I want to go and get all my kit out and just play with all the things, Miss Taz. So Magic fireplace. Let's have a look at what we've got in this little bag here. So like I say, I'm not doing the mechanism for this one. Yes, Miss Taz.
If anyone does want to, I'm about to post the link into the chat, so if they want to watch the magic fireplace.
Oh, okay. So Miss Taz is going to pop the link in the chat for the magic fireplace YouTube tutorial, so you can see it working with the mechanism. I obviously don't have time to do the whole shebang again this morning, but it is in there. The full tutorial is there. Please do go watch the magic fireplace. Might be one of the most magic cards in the world. I know I've seen so many of you use it, and that's been such a joy, because knowing that you guys felt the same way I did when that came out. And I will say, I'm going to get into trouble for saying this, and actually, anyway, I'm going to say it anyway. The next collection that comes out, which I think I launch with on Tuesday, I can't remember. That collection has also got some insanely awesome engineering in it as well. Think magic fireplace, but different. It's not the same thing, but we're talking engineering. So if Carnation are listening and I'm in trouble, you can't contact me because I'm on air. Just saying. Run, Taz, run. Hide, hide. I think the majority of my time at Carnation is trying to avoid the bosses and not getting into trouble. I did tell them this morning I was going to go and steal everything from the warehouse. Right, so magic fireplace. Once you've got your card base done, there is then a ton of options going forward. One of those is to keep all of this flat, and it depends what you're doing with it. If I was going to use the mechanism to have the little Santa come down, and you could have any of these coming down, couldn't you, the smaller ones? If you were to have the mechanism, I'm probably, if it was me, probably would lay that flat. I probably wouldn't put foam tape on it, because with the magic fireplace, it's so magic. What you actually want, realistically, isn't it, is that to be the center stage. If I'm just going to make it a card, I'm probably going to use that chunk because I just like the feel of chunky cards. I like the look of chunky cards, and I like the separation between layers. So it's about playing with depth and all of those things. So it's just playing, isn't it? So I'm just going to pop that out of the way, pull this down, get my tabs done. Having nails is a wonderful thing, but having, ridiculous stubby things that are still desperately trying to grow is not easy for pulling foam tape. Pop this down. Now that is using the Carnation Crafts blush card, the natural blush, so it's a slight cream if you're wondering why it's not the same colour. Taz is telling me here the magic fireplace is 22082534.99 on the Carnation Crafts website. If you're going to go and buy that, can I just suggest that you find your newsletter and use the code in the newsletter to get you 10% off it. I don't think it'll work for the vignettes today, but it should work for your magic fireplace die if you're buying any of the dies, just so you know. May as well get a discount while you can. Right, so that fireplace. What I've done on the fireplace, just to show you, is I found, Miss Taz did a whizzy. I found a little fire, and it's just a printout that I found on the internet, and I've just put that behind the fireplace to give it the illusion that there is a fire blazing. Super easy to find. It's a free download. I grabbed it and I used it. I'm just going to take my red liner tape. I've just cut that out and put it behind. So no foam tape here because I want this to lay flat. I've done my foaming with the mats and layers. So now we're just going to put this in place. So get it roughly central. I can't lean over, so please do bear with me. Although I did dye my hair this morning, so it's less of a grey noggin this morning. How stunning is that? I just think that's really, I love the magic fireplace, not least because it has the mechanism when you're using it in the other way, and it is just so beautiful. But actually, just aesthetically, it's a really beautiful vignette. That is a really super piece of artwork, isn't it? Really nice to have. Right, I've got the little wreath here. Now for this, I am going to use pin flare, but what I want to do, Now, I always tell you to work from the outside and work to the middle. This is my one exception to my rule. It's got enough cut lines in for me to not worry. I'm taking a much smaller end to my ball tool than the actual piece. So if I lay that, there's no good way of doing that. If I lay that way, you can see it's smaller than that central depth. And I'm going to use that to create a gully going round, which is where my pin flare is going to sit. So I'm just going through that central point. Now I'm not pressing too hard because I don't want it all to crease, because normally we would go from the outside in. What I'm trying to do is make it rotund, but keep this panel flat in the interims, if you like. Let's have a look. There we go. So can you see where I'm aiming? We're getting it round here like a tire shape. And then I'll just shape out the bow with the bigger end. Now that little gully that I sort of made in that tire shape, where it's sort of around my finger, if you like, that's where I'm going to put the pin flare, and that's going to raise it up enough, but with shape, and that's what I'm looking for here. So I'm just going to place it all around the center panel on that gully, quite high. I want it to sit proud. We've got the perfect place for hanging it. I might leave that just hanging slightly over. Pop it down. Little push. I don't want to squash that pin flare. I just want the adhesion. Done. Look how pretty that is. The magic fireplace could be used in so many ways. If the fire's not lit, it could be done in those kind of areas, couldn't it? There's lots of things that we could do to create those kind of different ways of playing. Now, if we were talking about tabs in the last one, weren't we? And we were saying about how we can use tabs to create different things. If I was to cut another piece of card, let me see if I've got a piece. Let's see if there is a piece of card in here, or if it's just back in. Let's have a look at this. So this is green on the other side, but let's pretend that isn't the case. I just want to show you some exceptions. Right, if I just fold here. Now I would obviously use a scoring tool, and I would use 350 GSM cardstock for this. But if I was to cut that to the right shape, which would be, I would just make it narrower. This is obviously just a piece of scrap that I've got. And that was 350 GSM, so that it stood up, and you could create a little stand at the bottom. But what I've got here now is a platform where I could really go to town. So we were talking about doing those animals, weren't we? And doing them on little platforms. And that is something that we can now do, because they could all sit here. Let's play, let's do it. This is me going off the cuff, but let's do it. So I'm doing it with scrap. You would do it with 350. Let me just cut this down. And same again, so that it doesn't show at the side of the fireplace. And let's use, let me see if I can find, I'll do a bit of finger lift. Right guys, let's play. My favourite thing to do is play. You can see I love to plan. So I did have 2 demos set, but let's go rogue, as Wheeler would say. So if this, let's pretend that's 350 GSM. Let me just make sure that's where I want it to be. Get that set straight. Put that there. Now that's going to stand, and I'm going to have this platform here. I can create so many things now. Now I could have made that larger so that I had a bigger floor space, so I could start building 3D shapes. Now what Nick does is put so many cut lines in our pieces for us that I can do so much with that. I've got so much playway with what he gives me because of the cut lines, which means I can have my animals standing 3D with tabs like we just did in the last one. Thank you, Pauline. Now, the importance of that when we're building something like this is, if we're using those tabs, they all go down flat, so we can still post it. What's even more magic is, because we're Carnation crafters, we have got the double-sided vignettes. So we have got the perfect playway, haven't we? Because it doesn't matter whether you're seeing it from the front or the back. So we can create tabs, and then obviously because we use that back card shape, I can sit that in a triangle, okay? So it's going to stand in the same way. I can put the animals on. When I close it, they will fold flat for posting because we're using the tab system, or I can pop them on the inside of the card so that when the recipient gets it and opens it, they get a little surprise, because when they open it, the animals will pop out in a pop-out shape. Does that make sense? So we'll do that. Let's play that way. It's just nice ways to play. Now, I've got another piece where you're going to have to use your imaginations slightly here, because obviously I didn't... Oh, I've just ruined the set. Don't tell Miss Taz. Everyone, shh. So, because I didn't plan to do this the way I'm doing it at all, and we're going slightly rogue, let's make a little, as such, carpet or rug. None of this will be straight because I don't have a ruler and I'm not using a whatchamacallit. Right, so let's pretend that's a rug. A little bit of shaping off here. So you would perform a mat and layers, and yours would be straight. You would do it obviously with a proper guillotine or a caterpillar in my case. Chuck that down. Let's make a Christmas living room. So it's like a fake easel card, essentially. If I can get hold of this. Is it playing? It's not playing, Miss Daz. If it doesn't play, we'll just use the one piece. There we go. And stick this. So I've got a little rug in front of my fireplace. That obviously will then stand. Now I could probably do with a stopper, but it doesn't matter so much. Now, what that gives me now is a playway, a platform, something I can use. Go and look at the free backing papers that you get all over the shop for all of the collections for Carnation. Find one that would make a really beautiful rug. There's lots of stripy ones. Bundles of joy backing papers where you've got the really lovely stripy stuff, and the ginghams, all of those, they would make a lovely rug, something like that, so you can start to build that kind of scene. Now, what I know from this is where my fireplace is standing, where I want my card to stand, I can't have any of the animals behind a certain point, because if I've got an animal stuck in here, it's going to mess with the card. So what I would do is do some kind of faux working out. So if I say I'm just going to place this here, I wouldn't mark my card normally, but I'm just using it for visuals because obviously, as I say, we went a bit rogue. So I know I've made 2 marks, one here, one here. I can't go any further back than that with my animals, okay? So that leaves me exactly where I am. What I'm now going to do is just cut some strips. Obviously, again, I would be doing this with a guillotine. We are completely just improvising, but just some strips. And then let's chop some into pieces. Doesn't matter the sizes particularly. You want them to be long enough to support the weight. This would be 350 GSM. Always, especially when you're doing something like this, we're looking for that extra weight. Or weight bearing cardstock. Right, let's go. So I've got my little fireplace. First thing I'm going to do is stick some stockings. Now, we haven't got a lot of time, but take the time to shape them out. Let's hang some little stockings. Should we do them? And we'll do them there. 1, 2. Oh, I must get my stockings out for the boys as well. 3rd one. Grate on the fire. So we're building that scene. Don't forget your little elements. Even though we're going to be putting animals in front of this, it's the little details that matters. And that's why we buy Carnation, isn't it? Because they put the details in it. So if we also add our details in, and don't forget the extra pieces, It just finishes the cards off nicely. So we've got the little grate, which is super, super sweet. I'm going to put a candle on the fireplace. Oh. Ooh, mince pies. I do like mince pie, you know, Miss Taz. Pigs in blankets. Oh, Miss Taz, you've got a beautiful world to enter. She's never had a pig in blanket. She's never had one. Little extra candle here. And then let's get a Christmas card up on my fireplace. Right, so some little details taken care of around that fireplace. Now, I am just going to stand this up so I can see whereabouts I'm going. And then I've got these little tabs, and that means I can start to bring these animals in. If I was playing with this at home, I would most certainly have something in the shape of a rug at the front to make sense of that red floor, because yes, it looks like a carpet. I would never use a red on that colour anyway, because it's too dark with the fireplace. I would be likely to use a cream and then add a kind of rug shape onto the floor of it in order to make the scene. But you can see where I'm going with it, and we can see how we're playing, because I am obviously super improvising. Let's find, excuse my noggin coming into set. Let's find, we'll go for a little deer. Where's his larger counterparts? I've got so many animals on here. Let's have a look. Shall I go with there? Right, now I don't know if I'll use him because I might not be able to use the tabs, but mother and baby, they're so sweet together. What I might do is first of all glue these two. So I'll just glue him to mum so that they can stand. Remember, we were forming those tabs. Just fold it in half. Pauline says, hubby says the grate is great. Absolutely. Right. Glue onto here. Oh, Miss Taz. So one of the things we were remiss. There's a Santa hat, isn't there? The Santa hat is, it's only $4.99. It's on the website, 220617. Thanks, Taz. There's a Santa hat. They could have Christmas jumpers and a Santa hat, and that's just ridiculously sweet. Let's go in with these. Now, I'm going to have a lot of slip slide here because I'm doing perfect papers onto perfect papers. So it's got that gloss. Until it dries, it's going to slide. So I'm just going to gently place it and leave it alone for a second. Now, I would want some taller animals. So while you've got the camera there, if I just turn this round, you can see how we're starting to form. Is it on the overhead? Can I go that way, Miss Taz? See how we then get that dimension because they're sitting so far forward. But I would want something maybe taller on either side. I've got stuff going on in the middle, so what I want to do then is bring it upwards. So I would choose something taller than the deers, and that could be more deers. It could be anything. We're just playing, and I just want them to raise on the sides, possibly at different heights. It depends. It depends how we play. So if, for instance, let me see, who have we got? If we were to have a little wonky donkey at the side. Oh, you know, he reminds me of when I just saw that, it was more like he was wearing a Hawaiian shirt. Mr. Nick, we need a holiday range immediately. So, you see what I mean about raising height on the two sides on the outside. Now, obviously, you'd choose your animals, but you would have that height in order to gain a lift so you're not sort of naked at either side. So I hope that makes sense. Just composition-wise, it would make more sense to have them taller on either side of there. So let me see if I can find... I'm not going to worry about which animals I use because we're playing, but I will have a look at some that I think are super sweet. Now we're cooking on gas. Let's have a look. I'm really tempted to just put Chunk in again just because I find him just delicious. But let me see if I can find, where is he? Let's have a look. I'll go with him first. So tab in half. I'd probably actually be more inclined to do these with red liner, you know, because they'd be stronger. It would be an option. So where his feet are, we're leveling him. If I put that to there so you can see it. So I'm putting that right at the bottom of him so he's not, so that his feet touch the floor, really. Now, if that tab is too big, he will stand too far forward. So if you need to chop it down, you obviously can. It's just playing with the sizes. And then just pop him down. Okie doke. I don't want him too close to the fire. I don't want his legs catching on fire, Miss Taz. And then, t'other'n. So we've got 2 foxes, 2 deers. So, what would have been more sensible for me to do at this point, which I didn't really think of because I am just improvising. If I was using this same colour that I've got for the carpet, so I've got a red here and I'm using the red tabs, it would have been better for me to have folded that the other way so you don't have the white tab. So had I have folded it that way, stuck that bit to the animal and that bit to the floor, it wouldn't be visible. Do you see where I mean? Just because obviously I did it the other way, it's now going to be visible behind the fox. These are the things that we realise 2 seconds too late in the middle of an improvisation demo. And this is why you sort it out in advance. But I got excited, Miss Taz. So we're just placing. Just like so. Now, doing it this way so that we have that extra carpet space at the front means that we get pure dimension with this. And it's a different way of playing. If you're not comfortable with it, you can, of course, just stick the little animals on the fireplace. But this is so easy and such a nice little way to play. And it just adds extra elements. So I'm not going to overload it. I think I might leave it exactly where it is. But if I turn this towards the camera so you can see it from the front, so you can see the dimension that we've got. Like obviously mine isn't entirely dry. Let me just scooch those out of the way so that you can see exactly what we've got in a little. Isn't that so sweet? Now, if I just turn that slightly, so you can see the dimension of everything coming forward. Now, I will say that that was obviously completely improvised. I would take longer. I would think things through a little more. It wasn't the demo that I'd planned, but sometimes that's the nature of card making, and it's where we go with, you know, our little brains. And I think seeing things done in a different way so that we can see dimension, we can see the way things work. If I'd have done it the way I would planned, it'd be a lot neater than that. So just think things through. Whenever we're making tabs, my advice, use 350. If you're going to use 350, it's white, so it's going to show at the back. So you would just put another little piece of the same colour on top of the piece of 350, so it's hidden. So it's just always about covering your tracks, essentially. So where you can see that that piece is white, just where my finger is there, here, I would just put another piece of red on top of that if I was doing that, just to cover it up, you know, so you don't see it. You're not going to see it from the front anyway, but still we don't want it from the back. That's why we use mirrored vignettes, right? So we don't have that clash. But obviously when I'm posting this, mine won't, it's still too wet, but when I'm posting this, they will all lie flat for postage. So I can put them in and put that forward that will lie over the top, and that will be it for posted. It would be cut the right size, but you see where I'm going. So the point is, just with the tiniest little bit of thought in a, you know, in advance preferably, as opposed to, you know, me doing my thing, you can make the most beautiful little cards. And these animals in their little Christmas jumpers might be the nicest thing ever in the world. Look how ridiculously cute they are. The little animals, the Christmas jumper special edition vignettes, are 223215 on the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk, but they will only be that price until midnight tonight, along with the mega deal, at which point everything will go back to its original price. So now's the time to do it. It won't work for the vignettes, but if you want to buy dies, pro print, perfect papers, any of those things off the Carnation Crafts website, please do find your newsletter and use your 10% discount code across the website. So for the physical items, it will work on there for you to get 10% discount. We have got a brand new launch. Starting, I'm sure it's Tuesday, new launch on the 6th, the 9th, the 12th. Oh no, 6th at 9, 12 and 2. Miss Taz, you just confuse me with all of the numbers. Is it with Dave? Are we in with Davey B?
It's the Dave.
So Davey B will be here on the 6th, and we've got a brand new launch. I'm going to do your Facebook Live on the Monday, so we launch on the Tuesday. The new collection it's stunning. One day I'm going to come on and go, God, Carnation have done it. It's awful. It's never going to happen, is it? They've done a beautiful collection that's coming out on Tuesday, and it has got some engineering in there. You are going to love it. It is just crazy good, as we would expect. In between then and now, I'm pretty sure that on Thursday I go live on Create and Craft with the With Compliments collection. Remember the lion head with the pieces that we get to move back and play with? That was another piece of engineering. So I will be there with that on Thursday as well. So we've got lots and lots of things. It's what, sorry, Miss Taz? 1 and 5 is when I'm on Create and Craft on Thursday. So we'll be playing then as well. So if you've already got that, then please do join me. You'll see more demos. If you haven't and you want to see what it's about, please do join me then as well. In the meantime, massive hugs to every single one of you. Please do take care of yourself, and I will speak to you really soon. Take care. Bye.